Well, we've been blessed with a lot of Elephant Crown action over the last week or two, and it's mostly been second division today, recently. But thankfully, today we get our first look at the first division, and it's promising to be quite a banger. It is going to be Pink Salamanders taking on Rage Quit. So many Rage Quit teams, Ziv, that you have to always check which one is it today. Okay, it's Rage Quit Anomaly. The name isn't new, but the team is very similar. And speaking of new but very similar, got new and similar in the casting booth today. It is of course Ziv. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's been a long time. I decided to make a celebrity appearance. Gotta give the community back what they've missed. Of course, I'm sure. Gotta be sneaking around on Ryan and sneaking around in the community as well. So yeah, and I'm happy to be back. I'm quite excited. It's been a while. So hope you guys are ready. I think it's going to be a really awesome game today.
I agree completely. I think it is going to be an awesome game today, and it is going to be our third place team in the Premier Division taking on our fourth place team. So at the moment, Anomaly sitting just a little bit above, or I think that's the case. No, Salamanders sitting just a little bit above Anomaly. So it's two teams kind of floating around the middle of this Premier Division, and that tends to be where we get our closest matchups.
Yeah, so this is, let me just get my facts completely straight here. So this is first division. All right, so first of teams, always nice to watch. Got some good players in there, also mixed up with some newer players, which I really always like especially Anomaly. There's some nice and familiar names, especially for me there. Got Terran, got Lavius, Rinko Hareru, we got KK and Restison, and I think it's going to be a really awesome team that we've got there. I mean, Lavius on DPS, an iconic name in the community as always. Super excited to see what he's going to pull out there. That Rinko Hareru, played with him quite a bit. I was in a team with him quite a while ago though, but always a fantastic player on the field and in comms as well. He's a great leader as well when he needs to be, and he's just an overall really awesome player. Terran I've also had some good interactions with over the many years that I've known Terran for. Played many games with him. He's an awesome person in general, and just I'm super excited to see what he's going to do here on that tank role. KK also in a team with KK. I feel like we're in a team with everybody. Yeah. Also fantastic support. She's managed to keep me alive for through my fantastic round plays. So yeah, you can see that the skill levels there. And Restison I haven't played with much, but from what I know, also of course a great support. So I'm really keen to see what Anomaly is going to bring to the table here, and I'd love to see what they're going to do up against Pink Salamanders.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting squad, Anomaly. Obviously, all five of these players are going to be quite familiar to people who've been watching South African Overwatch, and this is kind of where they float around with one obvious exception. I think Terran has been kind of grinding out the tank role for a year now, maybe a bit more than that, coming over from DPS on teams like Rage Quit Odyssey, but he's kind of made this tank role his home. And then Lavius he's the standout on this team. On paper, for sure, he's the guy you look at and go, whoa, okay, they've got Lavius on their squad. That's a big potential point of conflict around which Pink Salamanders are going to have to be hyper aware. But let's take a look at that Pink Salamanders squad here, their opponents today. And it is, again, it's a theme of this series, I think, Ziv. It's a lot of familiar players.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Especially Blur. I'm sure everyone's quite familiar with Blur. No, I'm not going left to right here, but Blur's always been quite a steady pillar of this community. So I'm quite excited to see if he's also going to be a steady pillar for Salamanders. See how he's gonna take the leadership there, and I'm really keen to see how Blur is gonna face up against. Sorry, let me try that again. How Blur is gonna face up against Terran.
I think there's a lot to look at for both of these squads. I think, again, you've pointed out Blur, and I 100% agree. He kind of tends to be the biggest play on any team is on. And funnily enough, both of these two star players we're looking at were part of that GG squad that took the VS Gaming Championships in 2019 or 2018, whenever that was. So kind of old school championship level teammates fighting up against each other. But the rest of the team is no slouch either. You know, we've got Vertigo and Slade, two players we'll be very, very familiar with. Vertigo, perhaps in the past more well known as her for off-tank play, mostly her diva, but again, like Terran in the last year or so, she switched over to a different role. This time it's support, so she'll be playing probably most of the series. I imagine she operates as quite a big part of the leadership structure of this team alongside Blur. And then we've got some other names and faces. We've got Luke, we've got Tuna as well. Tuna coming in after a while out, I want to say, in competitive play. I know he played a bit of Pride Cup and those sorts of things, but he spent some time as a part of Evo in the past, alongside some very other familiar names. And Luke is another player who's been around for a little bit now and should contribute. And Slade, obviously, just listing those players there's a lot of big punches. Slade, one of the best Reddit Lucios in South Africa. Expect to see a lot of big highly aggressive Lucio players out of him, so that should be exciting. But one thing to mention is that Blur has a presence on both of these teams because he is the coach/manager of Rage Quit Anomaly as well. So he's kind of knows both of these teams in and out in a big way. Yeah.
So I'm quite excited to see as well, since Blur, as you said, is the coach for both of these teams. I want to see if we can work around what he's coached the other team. So that'll be pretty cool to see how he's going to navigate his team around what he knows is the strategies and the way arounds for Salamanders, right?
For who? Sorry?
For Anomaly. I'll get the names eventually.
Rage Quit. If you don't want to call them Anomaly, I think they are the only Rage Quit team around currently. So that you can just call them Rage Quit. But
that's fun.
In the past there's been Rage Quit Odyssey,
so
Rage
many
Quit this, Rage Quit that.
So many.
It's Anomaly currently.
Yeah.
It's worth pointing out, having chatted to Peach in the metaphorical green room here, so is these two teams kind of have a different approach to competitive play at the moment, let's say. Anomaly is kind of very, very fixated on let me not phrase it that way, but their bigger focus is much more on getting better, on doing well, on coming out with results. They're grinding hard, they're playing meta, they're trying to be the best group of 5 or 6 or 7 Overwatch players that they can be. Whereas on the other side, Blur and the rest of Pink Salamanders are kind of approaching it from a little bit more of a casual standpoint. They're not grinding as hard. They're not really fixated on, executing the meta perfectly. They're more kind of like coming together. They're practicing for sure. And of course they want to win. Everyone does. And I'm sure Blur desperately wants to win this game, especially to lord it over his charges on the other side. But there's kind of a different approach here. So I think that could be an interesting dynamic to watch play out.
Yeah, so I think it might also, for RQ, as we said, RQ is more of like a fixated on playing the meta and the proper ways of playing the game. I think it might be interesting to see how RQ is going to understand and play around the, I want to say, randomness of Salamanders' play, because it's not going to be standard meta sort of gameplay that they would be used to from, let's say, scrims and practice sessions. So I think it'll be quite nice to see that. I think that could be quite interesting. Might take RQ by surprise, but I think we'll see. I'm quite excited to see the maps as well that we're gonna go through. I think we're starting off on Lijiang Tower, if I'm not mistaken. And so I'm quite excited to see our first control map, iconic map, all the way back from Overwatch 1. So I'm very, very excited for this first map.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. Like, when was the last time they added a control map? Right?
I think it was Busan. I want to say.
Yeah, I
think it was Busan.
You might be right. I think it was Busan. Apparently, the next one in the lineup is a control map. So, because I mean, they've been adding. It's rough when you've added 2 new game modes, right?
Yeah.
Because they added push. They added Flashpoint now most recently. So that's like, 6 or so maps potentially that you're adding to the game, and doesn't leave much room for anything else. But as you say, Lijiang Tower, a map rather, that both teams are going to be very, very familiar with. And the dynamic I want to see here is that often, and I think I'm picking the wrong thing here, but often teams that are headed by Terran Lord as their tank tend to be a bit inflexible, and I think that's got much more to do with Blur than it does with Terran Lord and how he chooses to coach his teams. With a team that wants to play well, wants to win, wants to execute that meta style, as I said, they can kind of be a little bit inflexible sometimes, whereas looking towards a side like Pink Salamanders, they might lose out early, but their ability to adapt, I think, is going to be a lot more acute. And so I'm that's going to be a fascinating dynamic to see. First, who comes out on top, and second, how does each team respond to being behind. But let's take a look at the rosters here as the clock ticks down, Ziv.
Yeah, so on Anomaly side, we've got... Oh, yes, I can't see. Hold on, like, 1 second, please. That's, my feed here isn't exactly the clearest.
It can be a bit rough. That's why I like to hang out in game. But Blur, he's already opening up here with an opening kill. Rinku taken down as well, so immediately out the blocks. It's Pink Salamanders with the advantage. A very aggressive TP there from Big Tuna. Needs to be careful not to put himself too far out of position, but he's got that shadow form to get out of there. So Pink Salamanders fast out the blocks here on Lijiang Tower.
Yep, Pink Salamanders, that was nice. Like to see that. It was nice dive from the monkey at least onto the Kiriko there. So it was great to see. I want to see exactly how Rage Quit is going to get this, because Salamanders having that Reaper as well for the monkey might cause some problems.
You mentioned it. So, monkey dive onto the Kiriko, and Terran Lord says the student has become the master as he executes perfectly on the other side to make an opening for his team to work their way through. Now, Restio-san drops as well. Terran Lord just picking up kill after kill, and they are going to get a nice quick flip back. So immediately we've got a back and forth game on our hands of.
Yeah, Anomaly, it's great from them. I see they do have their Tracer ult up as well. It could be quite an interesting play that they can make there. Try bet out that anti from Kiriko. Or that immortality thing that she has. Try maybe get a stick on her, maybe even onto Slade.
That is some excellent execution there. Immediately, fantastic. 4 kills out the block. That's dive as textbook as you like.
Yeah, that gives me 2017 Overwatch throwbacks. That was beautiful to see. Love to see that. You see Anomaly there, they're coming up on their Genji ult here. And Zlade's a bit behind on his beat there, I'll be honest, but we'll see. We'll see what Zlade can do there. You can see
the effect that winning teamfights is having. Pink Salamanders all just a little bit away from the ulti's Blur. He's got the monkey anchor up already. He's going to pop it right now. Kitsune Rush comes through as well. A lot of being pit on both teams' backlines here, but Zlade, he'll be the first to fall. Only 80% up to his ulti. Big Tuna, he's got his. The Death Blossom goes off without a hitch, getting 2 kills there, but he's losing players all over the place, but he's still finding picks. Terran Lord has dropped as well, but it's this man right here, Lavius in the back line, the master on the Tracer. They need to be careful. They have not flipped the point just yet. Lavius just going to buy time for the trickle to come on through. He's going to use the recall, going to have to get out, needs to try and just get around corners as best he can. He has. He's bought time for Rinku to come back in as well as Terran Lord. Almost up to another pulse bomb here is Lavius. EMP at the ready. He pops the blade. Rinku, but drops immediately. Big Tuna quick on the draw there to take down the Cyber Ninja as the team trickles down once again, but this is all in their favor still. 82%, 88, 89% on the clock for our blue squad before the point finally flips.
Great job from Lavius there to stall that out until his team could get back there. But unfortunate from Salamanders to not coordinate enough and just actually kill that Tracer there, but that was fantastic from Lavius to wait for his team to come back. That was great. That was massive, big back and forth. That was a very, very long team fight. That was amazing to watch. You can see that Kiriko ult coming out now. Lavius taking down Luke immediately. So.
2 fights for the price of 1 here. Lavius, oh my god, with the Kitsune Rush boost, it is insane. Nobody can stand up to the damage coming out of those Hellfire shotguns, and that's going to bowl over our red squad. But Big Tuna says, I've got a pair of shotguns on my own, but unfortunately for him, it's too little too late. Point flip, 95% on the clock. Blur will get in there, and he might be able to build up charge on his ulti. He's got the bubble at the ready to buy him even more time and buy time for his team to get through. A lot of damage coming onto Rage Quit Anomaly. Rinku Haireru dropping low here, will drop early as Luke finds that pick with the focus beam, And now they look to just get control of this point. Overtime ticking over Lavius. He's close to his ulti, but he's dropping low, not going down. Restiosan gets a boop on the boop. Masters Lade not going to be happy with that one. And Blur, he's popped the ulti. Well, this is Terran, sorry. He's dropped the ulti now, looking to find picks, looking to sow chaos and create space for his squad. And it seems to be working pretty well as Restiosan finds Vertigo on the other side. A punch to Luke gets rid of the Echo as well. So Pink Salamanders struggling here, losing players left, right, and center. And this man, Lavius, coming back in with the Death Blossom, potentially to clean things up. TP in over the top, gets pooped back. No, just back on time. It's unfortunate that this hero can fly, because you got the feeling any other hero might have died there, but Big Chino tracks down his opposite number and gets rid of him. So after another drawn out team fight, Zerv 67 and ticking for Pink Salamanders.
Yeah, that was good gameplay from Pink Salamanders. I was getting a bit worried there again because the Lucio was stalling there yet again. But nice to see them come together and actually get them all down and killed, which is really nice to see. Oh, Resti goes down early. That's very unfortunate for...
Yeah, that's the strength of the Kiriko right there, right? Able to find that opening pick at times. Blur finds one, and it's pretty much team fight over. What did they spend? Really just the Echo ultimate.
Yeah, Anomaly is coming into this fight though with both DPS ults, so we'll have to see what they're going to do with that. Hopefully they use them in a great way. Salamander's almost kissing the spawn door there, so we'll see.
COWZA, no!
Oh, unlucky, but that was close. That was very impressive from both teams.
Yeah, very, very close. Great game, actually, to open us up here. Back and forth, 99 to 100, as close as it gets on control. And both teams seem like they had moments of brilliance there. So really, at the end of it all, it just came down to Slade keeping Restio's son off the point there. Yeah. And that was the difference between the two teams when it was all said and done. So now we move over to control centers, a map with what we would expect to be a completely different approach for each team here.
100%. So what I really love about Lijiang, you obviously get a lot of different team comps. You get dive, you get brawl, you get poke as well. So I'm assuming we're going to see all three of those team comps, which I'm quite excited for. Really like to see the mirror comp that we have on both sides, almost a mirror comp. I see we do have a bit more changes coming out. Never mind, we can scrap that statement there. But really keen to see, and Luke goes down early. So let's see what's going to happen here with the Bastion.
Yeah, Bastion is a big warrior meat grinder. This path can turn into, and Big Tune, he will find K a little bit too far forward there, but Rinku Hairu, that's his second pick of the team fight. He found somebody first, but Blur, big, angry Reinhardt in the front line, doing the work for his team. Low HP, but enough HP to get a couple of kills, and now they can move forward. The double fire strike gonna help, in fact, get that last hit onto Rinku Hairu and secure the first point cap for Pink Salamanders.
Yeah, that was great team play from them. It was pretty even in the beginning there. Was great to see. I'm quite excited to see the Reinhardt plays here. I love seeing the mind games of the two Reinhardts, especially when they both know they both have Shadow, and it's really awesome to see. So I see how that Terran is quite a bit higher on his charge.
Well, not anymore, right? Now he's very much 6 feet under at the moment as Blur finds that charge. I think that was a boop from Slade that set that up. Terran seemed to get forced way ahead of his team there around the corner, and Blur taking advantage of that with a nice charge into the wall and out of the immortality field. So really, really smart team play. And that's the kind of creative nonsense you expect to see from a team like Pink Salamanders.
Yeah, it's been awesome to watch. I'm actually quite thoroughly enjoying this. Really excited to see the Shadow and the Bastion ult coming in. That's going to be very interesting to see. Oh, there's the Shadow Bastion ult. Oh,
that is unfortunate. Vertigo. We'll find Terran there, but really that was just the last hit out of many. It was that artillery that kind of spelt the end of them. Yeah. Bro, relax. She has a family. His KK gets mowed down by the rocket hammer. Blur far ahead of his squad, but more than safe enough to get back to his team. And with 70% on the clock here, Rage could need to find something special.
Yeah, Terran's gonna need to pull something completely out of the bag. They're gonna need to get some big play there. Hopefully we can follow up with the Dragon. Oh, that was a huge shot.
Down 3. The follow-up is there. Luke finds 2. 1 with the what's the name as well, and now they'll find Terran. But it's actually going the other way around. A huge shadow from Terran, but it's not enough to push his team through.
That immortality from Vertigo there was absolutely well placed. That was fantastic. But unfortunately, that Anomaly did not manage to get that down. But
Blur charging through. He knows this time, but Lavius has already gone down onto the point. He's got the Death Blossom as well. He takes down 1. Any more bodies on the point? Yes, of course. Terran Lord makes his way through on the Wrecking Ball. Has to keep his body on the point and try and get space for his team to come through. He hasn't completed the cap. He does go back, but he will pay with his life. And now Ryan and Vertigo are back on the point. K trying to make her way onto the point. She won't be successful, but she has bought a little bit of time for Restiosen to get onto the point. Is it enough? Luke with the ultimate takes down the Tracer. That's a huge pick. That's a lot of stall out of the fight, but just in a nick of time, Lord of Terrence manages to get back on here on the ball, but it's 1v4, as you can see displayed so expertly. And he's trapped up, all his momentum killed. Zlade picks up the last hit. He took down Rinku as well, and Pink Salamanders, after a close first round on Lijiang, dominate on Control Center.
Yeah, that was really awesome. Love to see it. It was thoroughly enjoyable to watch. Pink Salamanders, they really took control over that last control map there. That was quite impressive from them. I really liked it. But unfortunate on Anomaly's side, as well. But
that's something you don't see every day, right? A Genji player of the game that isn't just a dragon blade or a blade. So that was kind of key to what almost pushed him through to a victory on Gardens there. Just good execution on the dive. But when it came down to it, Control Center, I would be hard-pressed to find a harder 1v1 matchup than against Blur on Reinhardt. That feels like a pretty tough one to try and out-execute there, and the backup from the team was plenty strong enough. So, unfortunately for Rage Quit Anomaly, we were kind of wondering, Zerv, what are we going to see here? Which team is going to open up with that lead? And so far, it seems like Pink Salamanders, and I think that's the worst-case scenario for Rage Quit Anomaly, because my understanding of teams like these in the game, I'm open to be proven wrong here, but they tend to be a little bit inflexible. So looking to Rage Quit Anomaly to see what they can get done in game match number 2.
Yeah, so we'll see. I was just taking a look at the roster again. We can see the substitutions that are also available for Anomaly. If they so wish to swap them out, you never know. See, they might want to bring in some different skill sets into the team, maybe to try and combat what Salamanders is doing. We've got BTS Fan. He's a projectile DPS, usually favorite heroes likes to play Genji. He's played for some nice teams beforehand. He's played for Team Gaming, Leiden, ESGA, and Calypso. So also Power Possums, can't forget about Power Possums. So I'm quite excited to see BTS Fan if he does make an appearance here. We've also got Phoenix. She's a flex support, so loves to play Ana. So we'll see. I haven't experienced much with, I don't have a lot of experience with Phoenix, but I'm sure she'll be great. So we'll have to see what they're gonna do. Pink Salamander side, there's also some nice substitutions there that we can get in. We've got Trizzle. I've played quite a bit with Trizzle. He's DPS player. Loves to play Soldier 76. Pretty deadly on Soldier. Yeah. So I'll have to see if Trizzle's gonna be coming back. Got Trigger as well on the side of Pink Salamanders. Trigger's a fantastic tanker as well. Loves to play Diva. Play many games with Trizzle and against Trizzle, and he's very scary on Diva. So I'd like to see if we're going to be bringing in any other team compositions and see what's.
I can actually see the lobby here. So it is going to be. Oh, and our producer's telling us, he's given us this information already. But we do have a bunch of substitutions, and I will say, coming into this map, we knew that was going to be the case. Blur was very open about the fact that it was very likely that all 8 or 9 of the rosters were going to get all 8 or 9 of the players were going to be featured today, so we are going to see that. Our next map is going to be Numbani, but talking through those subs quickly on the side of Pink Salamanders, it's Trizzle coming in and it's Tox coming in for Zlade. So Luke goes out and Zlade goes out. So quite a significant change up here from what these players offer over their counterparts. Big eyes here on Trizzle. I think he could be a big puncher here. You mentioned that Soldier, a big one of his, but also the Tracer can be a monster to deal with as well. Going up against Lavius, that could be an interesting matchup if it does go that way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite excited to see how the changes are gonna take effect. Tox, obviously, fantastic player, really brings a lot to the team, especially just by skill. Just like the pure skill, it's awesome to see. I love to see it. Trizzle as well. He's great in game. Makes some awesome calls when he needs to, and want to see what he's gonna bring to the table there. So quite excited for Numbani. Always got some like a different team comps that we get on here. See on both sides we got a Monkey. See Rage Quits, they're running basically a full dive comp here.
Yeah.
So let's see what they can pull on. I suspect Vertigo is going to be in some decent damage there, decent danger for Vertigo, but and Tuna and COWZA, yeah, actually.
Yeah, they've got a very static lineup. Pink Salamanders, actually. I think Vertigo is going to be the key pick they're going to be looking for, but there's a lot of heroes there that you'd be happy to get rid of. Tuna, Trizzle as well. But this Mercy, it's a bit of a problem, especially if Tuna's going to hit shots like that. The damage boost helps make short work of K, and this is what we don't see enough of in second division. I know Peach watched all the second division games with me. This moment right here where we just wait, and nobody's poking at the choke. We're just grouping up as 5, and nobody's getting picked off and dying, and now they can dive in as a squad. Terran gonna be the tip of the spear here on the Monkey. They find one. Is the follow-up there for any more? Yes, it is. Blur pushed forward ahead of his team and taken down. Now Vertigo, last woman standing here in the front line. She will go down, and that is the floodgates open here. Once again, perfect execution on the dive from Rage Quit Anomaly.
As we saw the stagnant team comp that Salamanders was running there, that was always going to get absolutely run over by Anomaly. It was just going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
There wasn't much peel there, especially for Vertigo, but also they didn't really have many peelable characters there, so it's a bit unfortunate. But I'm glad want to see Salamanders maybe change up what they're running there just a little bit, have a bit more mobility to get away from that dive. Also appeal for their supports a bit more.
Well, yeah, they've got Big Tuna on this Tracer now, so that is something that'll bring to that. But look at that, once again, the execution too good. Tuna, he does get the kill onto Terran, so at least they get something out of this fight. Blur, far forward as well, low HP, taken down before he even hits the ground. So it's tank v tank trade, but what we don't see in picture right now is all the dead Pink Salamanders heroes that died before Blur did. So that's again a perfect execution from Rage Quit Anomaly on that first dive.
Yeah, I mean, the Anomaly just really taking control at the moment of this escort map. It's lovely to see it. They're just doing a great job in just taking control.
Ooh.
As soon as
Tuna. Once again, opening up the team fight for his team here. The Pink Salamanders haven't got much done this game, but every time Tuna's been the one finding whatever they do get out of these team fights. Stick onto the front of Toxic's shield. Won't find the kill, of course, but they've done more than enough here, Pink Salamanders, to win this one out. So momentum stopped here, but Rage Quit, they can now come in with a big ulti fight.
Yeah, Anomaly, especially they've got that blade up from Rinku Hareru. That blade's always super powerful, especially against nothing that Salamanders really has to stop it at all. Yeah. So unless Vertigo gets an absolutely insane sleep, I think there might be
she is capable of that, but it's less about that and more about what else is happening here. Blur, the meat grinder in this room here, but look at this on the other side. Once again, the dive too good, the legs too strong, the Trizzle running out of here. A nice reflector to keep him alive, but the Bardic Field going to keep the soldier healthy for the time being, but eventually Rinku will take him down. Now Angry Monkey the other way around. Lord of Terrans looking to find picks here. You're not really great at taking down the Tracer as a Monkey with an ultimate, but they've done enough here, I think. Rage Quit Anomaly to start pushing forward. Lavius under pressure, needs to be careful, has to recall out, but is still looking for that Tracer, and eventually Tuna goes down, and it's very late. So the team coming in now, but they're going to have to take this one 4v5, perhaps, if they look to defend this. As they do have the rally available. Tox dropping low, will pop that ultimate now and start to move forward with the squad. Blur has switched over onto the Diva, but it's the Nano Visor that's going to be the key here that unlocks this team fight for Pink Salamanders as they look to clean things up here. They haven't quite got the job done just yet, but with that kill onto Rinku, yeah, that'll be it. They force back Restio-san and wrest control of this point just before second point cap.
Well done, Salamanders. That was really well played. Love to see the Nano Visor as always. COWZA, great pop with the Nano Visor. Positioning, pretty okay. Made me stress a little bit. Feel like I lost a year off my life, but but that was lovely to see. Really took control. They got that initial pick and just absolutely destroyed the team. And also now Lavius has also just got destroyed as well. But
yeah, I'm learning something here. I don't know if Kitsune Rush has max height on the Z-axis because it's on the ground currently, but it looks like people are still getting damage boosted. But at the end of it all, that looked like it could have been a great fight for Anomaly, but unfortunately Salamanders weathering the storm very effectively there and coming out with 3 kills that secure them the team fight. So now they look towards the next fight. Only really self-destruct ready to go. Tuna needs to be careful not to get picked here. We'll back out now, but the Pulse Bomb could be a big one as well.
Yeah, I want to see Anomaly. I see they brought out the Sojourn here. I want to see what picks they can get with that. It's always a very strong hero, very scary to play against. But I'd love to see the dive again coming up onto high ground, but that was a big anti.
Yeah, huge Suzu though again from KK, keeping the team healthy. A stick
Beautiful.
Onto the Lucio, one of the hardest sticks to get done. But Big Tuna finds a way. Lavius gets rid of Blur before he can remix. So that's a 600 HP headshot right there from the Sojourn. As now they look to force Rage Quit Anomaly back. Terran so low, no resources to speak of. Lives for a lot longer than I was expecting, but eventually will drop. But they trade out Tox. So with the respawns coming in, they're trying to get rid of Big Tuna as well. They're still committed to this team fight, and there's a Blade ready to go, but Blur is back on the front line. Here, Visor popped as well. 60 seconds left on the clock, but this team fight is all said and done.
Nah, well done, Trizzle. That was looking a bit dangerous there for Pink Salamanders, but Trizzle came through and just nullified that for this fight for that fight. But we do have Blade coming up. He's up.
Oh, Lavius!
Beautiful Lavius to take down Tuna. This makes it a 4v5 coming into this, which I think is gonna be a lot easier to take. We've also got both DPS ults.
Oh, well, there's one of them. The overclock comes through. That could have been a double if you're not careful. As Lavius finds pick after pick. 3 picks for his team here. They get the DMAC onto Blur. Any more kills for the Lavius? No. Terran says, I'll have one of those. They have capped second point, and now they can push their way onto the final point on Umbani, but they have to be careful. Oh my god. Big Tuna. Drag, select, delete.
Yeah, the Lavius is really coming out now, especially on that Sojourn. It's lovely to see that. But Salamanders, see, they're swapping it up now. They're bringing out Arissa, or as I like to call it, the Battle Cattle, and the Bastion there. So I'm quite love to see that. So probably to counter that dive just a little bit. They're with that spear, but big ults being popped now from
lots committed here. The nano boost coming through, the sound barrier, but it's the Dragon Blade that's finding the damage. Terran, he's picking off after the damage that his Genji has done, and a great job once again on the initiation from Rage Quit Anomaly. You can see where their strengths lie here. It's on executing perfectly on some of those harder strategies. The dive, not easy to do, and in fact, a good boop from Restiosan keeps Pink Salamanders off the point and allows Rage Quit to get that full cap with a good minute left on the clock.
Yeah, that was great to see. Especially that's what we were talking about earlier, where the two teams had differences in practicing for the game. Where we've got RQ, who's very dedicated, and they practice their team comps and their strategies down to a T, which you can see really paid off here. Just seeing sometimes not as coordinated on the side of Pink Salamanders, and that really they did struggle with that.
Yeah, so you can definitely see Pink Salamanders. Their strength comes in individual skill, right? And the kind of natural synergy as opposed to practice or learned synergy. You can see by the way they can sort of bring back these drawn out fights and bring back these tough positions in games, and it's cool to see what we were expecting kind of play out on screen in front of us. But we do now go into Rage Quit's defense here. They haven't switched up much, really only the Brigitte, the difference, and Lavius on the Reaper. Actually, most heroes have changed, but the identity of the composition is still relatively similar. And Pink Salamanders, they haven't changed much at all. Yeah, interesting to see Trizzle on the Genji and Tuna on the Soldier, actually.
Trizzle's Genji is also pretty scary, especially with that Nano Blade coming out. So I'm quite excited to see what's going to happen there. Because normally as well, they got pretty stagnant team comp, but also with that Reaper to babysit KK there on I think that's going to be quite beneficial for Anomaly there. Just because, there goes Tuna.
Tuna just a little bit too far forward there. He kind of runs into the blender that is these Hellfire shotguns from Lavius here, and Lavius kind of gets rid of him, it seems like, before he even quite realized what happened here. And now they kind of hold this point up. He needs to be careful here, Lavius, because there's no healing really to support him back here. But good work from Rage Quit Anomaly identifying the danger zone and setting themselves up to protect it.
Yeah, so it's great to see. Otherwise that was a pretty quick one. Got to pick off, pull back, we go again, and try and get that dive onto the honor. Unfortunately, they do have that peel there, so that didn't exactly go to plan for Salamanders there. Normally, great play from them to just clean up. They get the pick, they pull them apart, and just not allow them to really do anything.
Yeah, seemed like a bit of a miscommunication perhaps from Blur there. He kind of moved up onto the opposite high ground to try and pressure the back line, I guess hoping to pull the attention of Lavius from that choke, but Lavius just hung out there and got 3 kills from the people trying to come through to support Blur. So unfortunate for Salamanders there. They have forced out the Shadow Step, or not Shadow Step, the Shadow Form from the Reaper, and now they look to push through here. But again, it feels like pushing through here is a bit of a fool's errand as Lavius looks to get some work done here, but now again isolated on the high ground. The Lavius eventually does go down, but they've lost Blur on the front line. In the meanwhile, Terran Lord still happy, still healthy on this high ground, close to his ultimate as well. Anti-heal over the top, finds only the soldier, but Rage Quit Anomaly, they're happy to sort of stall things out here and look for fights and find picks slowly but surely. Trizzle gets that, or Rinku gets that kill, and will take a nap, a well-deserved one in the meantime.
Yeah, I think Salamanders is struggling a bit here, especially they've got a bit of a weird team comp. They've got like 2 dive heroes, and they've just got an Ana. I'm not sure what their team comp is at the moment, to be honest with you. Nothing really matches.
Oh, this could be bad. He's killed with the deflect from Trizzle. He dropped low. Lavius hoped to use the ultimate to heal up. A nice sleep from KK will put Blur to bed, but not for long. With Trizzle on the back as well, they get rid of that. So finally, they push through as a team. They get rid of Lavius on the front line, and that allows them to push their way through onto the first point.
I think Lavius just got a bit too excited there.
I mean, you could see what he was thinking, right? He was 1 second away from a huge 5-man wipe.
He thought it was going to be there. His Q button started absolutely glowing at him. that happened, but unfortunately it was maybe a bit too much too late though. So didn't manage to bring him up to the level of HP that he wanted to from that ult with that lifesteal.
Lavius isolated a bit. Now they're going onto the high ground here. Trizzle with the blade, looking to get the job done. He finds a couple, but there's 2 blades, blade on blade action here, but one of them is blue and growing and electrified, and eventually Trizzle will get taken down by Lord of Terrans, but now Rinku goes down as well. It's a 2-on-1, and unfortunately the one loses out here. Terran double teamed in a platonic sense by Big Tuna and Blur.
Yeah, I think that double team there was quite a good play there in the platonic way. So yeah, 6 Salamanders, they do have 2 big ults there, especially Blur. You can really move them around, push them out of position for Tuna's visor to absolutely just melt them. So what else to see what Blur's going to do there? Hopefully pair up with Tuna's.
Oh, they've spotted him though immediately. Yeah. Big Tuna taken down. Lavius finds the last hit for Terran. The tip of the spear once again. But speaking of tip of the spear, it's more like tip of the baseball bat here as the Angry Monkey puts the team in the corner. But KK with the anti-heal will get rid of Blur, and that's going to force Rage Quit, or Pink Salamanders rather, to get back towards their spawn.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for Tuna. It got picked off so quickly, but so early at the same time. Yeah, that was impressive how fast that was. Actually, like can't do even anything about it before you even realize you're dead. So that was really well played for them. Really getting another team fight out of this. So we'll see what they're going to do here. They've still got that visor, which can be a big problem. See the Nano's coming out onto the Monkey. Hopefully going for a big dive into
Terran. He's looking for targets. He's fixated on killing Tuna. It's not a bad choice, but now he's isolated a little bit here. No ult to speak of, but very close. If you can just get that up, you feel good. But no, 99 on the ult percent, and he gets taken down, and that's going to leave his team open here, and the point open, in fact, as Blur sticks his body up in the chokehold, and in the choke rather, and forces Rage Quit back towards their own spawn. That's going to secure a second cap now. 3 minutes on the clock, plenty of time to play with. This could be quite a fast push from the Pink Salamanders.
Yeah, I want to see some nice ult rotations from Anomaly. They've got some nice ults coming up. They've got the Monkey ult and the Soldier ult, which can be both quite useful. See, the Lavius has just popped the Soldier ult, and Monkey was kind of forced to ult there. So I want to see if I'd like to see from Salamanders, they just pulled back, they hold it back, they're like, we are not not peeking that. Now they're coming on with the ult of their own.
Yeah, so. Kind of interesting ult from Lavius. They pops it in a place where they can happily just hang out where they are without really giving anything away. Oh, aggressive play. Rinku dashes forward when dashing out might have been the right call there, and they get Lavius down the meanwhile. So might be over already here as the car pushes towards the golden box of victory to force us into another set of rounds here. Toxin Socks going to look for the flank here, going to heal the Reaper up as he comes round, but Terran, he's under pressure here. Big Tuna tracking him down, he's dropping low, he's got no ult and he will get taken down. Now there's a Dragon Blade outside the spawn doors. Nice anti-heal onto Trizzle, but it won't be enough as kill after kill after kill goes the way of our blue squad, and they push through unfettered here. A celebratory fireworks Death Blossom there from Big Tuna as his team ends up their push with a minute and 48 seconds? 59. 2 minutes basically on the clock.
Yeah, that was great to see. I really loved the way that Salamanders really did pick apart Anomaly, and just really, especially with that blade that came out from Trizzle there, just completely just pulled them apart. There wasn't much they could really do, especially after those kills just started trickling out. There was all one big lump of kills that was like sort of trickled in, which then that also really, to defend on this last point on Mbana, it's really difficult to do. So just trickling in is nothing you can really do. So,
yeah, I think you're right. Actually, they did kind of they didn't show that discipline we saw before from them on that final push. There definitely was a moment where they could have taken stock, have heroes go in and die so they could all respawn together. But as you say, it is tough on that third and final point of Nimbani. But they've got another shot here now. Pink Salamanders, they're going to be in defense here, and they're going to come up with something very similar with what we saw Rage could do on their defense, except it's going to be Trizzle on the Soldier instead of the Genji, and Blur's going to be on the Monkey instead of the Diva, instead of the Monkey.
Okay, I'm quite excited to see Salamanders. I like this, especially because they've got some ability. Except it's also a bit of a weird comp again. They like to play quite strange cards, which don't sort of make complete sense. You're gonna see what he's gonna do there. sneaky. But anyway, so that was make some quite interesting.
Aggressive jump in here from Ragequid. As we know, they like to do no picks on that occasion. So let's see how they respond now. And unfortunately, K kind of left in the lurch on the high ground there. Turn dropping low and taken down without the healing at his back. So a good response here from Pink Salamanders. And this composition is very, very well suited to dealing with that aggressive face dive.
Yeah, Anomaly did I mean, they were okay. Could have probably seen a bit more better diving there, especially with Lavius is going to struggle to get to the high ground. Also, to move around, it's going to take quite a bit of time, which they don't really have. To maybe get like a flank onto Naana or something like that. But
3 seconds, they get on, and they're getting a lot of HP down here. Terran finds Drizzle, but they have lost Rinku. Blur will take down the opposing tank, and that should be that. Not a third gain here for Ragequid Anomaly, so it's not looking good. Lavius gets the stick onto Toxin Socks, but it's too little too late as he's lost pretty much all of his teammates. All of them now as overtime ticks down, and Ragequid get nothing out of their push, so it's a full hold for a draw at best for our red team.
Yeah, I love to see that Diva. A Diva especially was nice to see. Great mobility. That DM is also super strong against the Genji, just to help out with the honor. It was great to see from Salamanders, honestly. Anomaly, it wasn't bad for them. It was a good try there. For sure, seeing a bit of a pause there. So we'll see what's going on there.
It's kind of rough on those 1 minute attacks because you don't get a great opportunity to respond with what the defense are doing. So it can often be like if you don't get that first fight done, you don't get the point done at all. And we kind of saw that there. Pink Salamanders came out the box again. It kind of links towards that inflexibility that I was talking about with what I thought might be the case for Ragequid. You know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to come in with a dive. It's going to be very, very accurate, very, very precise. But if you can weather that storm, what do Ragequid do after that? And it almost feels like I wonder if that's a bit Blur kind of leaning into his knowledge of the squad and being like, I know this team's strengths, but I know their weaknesses as well. And as long as we don't lose someone on that initial dive, we can probably grind through the rest of the fight with our strong mechanics. And that seems to be what happened in that first team fight there.
100%, I fully agree with you. The Salamanders, I've noticed as well, they've changed their play quite quickly based on on where Anomaly's going and how they're playing, which is really nice. I feel like Anomaly, as I said earlier, before the game actually started, was that Anomaly might find it a bit difficult to play around Salamanders because of Salamanders. I don't want to say random play, but like erratic, non-formal, non-standard play. So I see that the stark differences in how the teams practice and conduct themselves. I feel is playing also quite a role here, which is very interesting to see. I haven't encountered that before, but that's pretty cool.
It's actually interesting. I think this is worst case scenario for Rage Quit Anomaly to have when you're a team that thrives on grinding out specific compositions, specific scenarios, rollouts, those sorts of things. When somebody knows your playbook, that's worst case scenario for you, because not only do they know how to beat you, or they know what you're going to do, but they also know what you struggle against, and that's kind of what Blur brings to this Pink Salamanders squad that really makes it hard for Rage Quit to play. You can see why Rage Quit is as high up in the standings as they are, currently fourth just behind Pink Salamanders, but it's rough. This situation is like worst case scenario for them, because Blur can just be like, this is what Terran's good at, this is what he struggles with, here's a hole in their playstyle, be it hero wise or compositionally, that we can exploit. So yeah, it's rough for Rage Quit at the moment, but that's part of the game, If your coach is a better player than you, then that's kind of what you have to put up with sometimes. It is what it
is, yeah. But if you see on the standings at the moment, especially, as you said, Salamanders is ahead in third place of RQ Anomaly in fourth place. But RQ has played 4 games. Salamanders have only played 3, and they are on equal points. So RQ, if they wanted to fight for that third place, they really, really needed to win this game here. But I see they're trying. I love to see that.
We still, I do the same thing where you kind of get a sense of how the wind's blowing, and then you just make a conclusion on how the series is going to play out. But there is plenty of time here. Map 2 hasn't even been completed yet, so they can still play for a draw here, and that would set us up nicely going into the rest of the series, because these teams are relatively evenly matched, I think. Rage Quit look good. When they look good, they look amazing. It's just a matter of, can they grind through these kind of drawn out team fights, more chaotic scenarios that we're going to have to wait and see. Lavius, too far forward. They gets pooped forward by Tox, gets taken down by Pink Salamanders, and now they can move forward. Where they go? A little bit far forward here, but you can see how Rage Quit have to play. They have to play back, but they can't. They need to get on this point. They need to keep things alive, and Restioson dropping is not ideal. Now both healers down for Rage Quit Anomaly. Rinku, however, the only person getting anything out of the team fight on that Torbjorn, with only a third to get. Rage Quit going to drop down a second map here. Pink Salamanders just too strong on their attack.
Yeah, that was great from Salamanders. But unfortunate on Levius's positioning part, getting that right opening pick, that kind of set Salamanders up there. So that was but unfortunate. But that's unfortunately the price you pay if you're slightly out of position, especially when you play against a team of the caliber of Salamanders. You're not going to get away with stuff like that. It was nice to see that. That's RQ? No, Salamanders. Now see that Salamanders actually, they saw that out of position play and they actually got on that quickly. It was amazing to see. It was really well played. But otherwise, it was a very, very, actually quite a close map. It was the team fight had swung both ways. That was one team fight that got rolled, the other team fight they rolled the other team. So it was just a very satisfying match to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think there's plenty to look forward to in potentially this last map here, but it does, again, it stands out to me how adaptable Pink Salamanders are. It feels like everything that you could identify as a strength of Rage Quit was being exploited by Pink Salamanders the next go around, right? We saw how well they did on their defense, weathered the storm of that initial dive, and it'll set you up to win the team fight after that. They did that effectively. Second time around, Lavius, he wants to play that chokehold on the high ground on the right-hand side from the defender's perspective. He wants to sit that Reaper body in that choke, and when you come through, grind you up. And so they identify that, they just get there it seemed like just get there quicker than he was expecting, force him out of position, and take him out when he doesn't have the support of his team. And you could see the response that Anomaly tried to make there was to sit almost everybody on the other high ground, right? You leave Lavius there, as long as he isn't out of position, he can shadow form out, get healed by the healers, and then kind of be a nuisance on the point while you protect your high ground. But unfortunately, the one chink in that plan was the fact that Lavius got picked off. So there's some good high level stuff going on here, and it's kind of quite a cerebral display in many ways for both of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree with what you're saying there. What I also think is another factor as well. Everyone might not agree with this. It might be a bit, controversial. But also, Anomaly, I've noticed they don't take time to set up like Rage Quit does, or like how another meta-focused team is. They sort of they all just get there and just go. they just run with it, which I think also catches a lot of teams by surprise, because there's not that time to actually prepare and understand what's happening. It's just you're relaxing on the high ground, you're chilling, and then all of a sudden you've got 5 players on top of you. So I think that's also quite a big thing, especially like when I was playing. If stuff happened really quickly, I'd be like, whoa, what is going on? I was not prepared to handle that. So I think that's Salamanders, they're playing that quite well. I think Anomaly, they're doing well to handle it though, especially because it is a very aggressive play style that Salamanders is playing. But Anomaly, they're doing a great job as well. They're trying to just understand what's going on. You can see it in the gameplay. They move around. Especially on the second hold, they moved around to a different position than they were the first time to try and combat what Salamanders was going to do.
I think that point you bring up about the swiftness of the execution from Anomaly is quite a good one, because I think that is something a big part of what you train when you're doing dive is how can we make our dive as sharp as possible? And that means 2 things, right? It doesn't just mean precise, right? Because that is a big part of what sharpness is. It's how while you execute, how accurate you are as a squad when you're getting that dive. Identify the target you want to get, make sure everyone can get there, and then execute on that. But it's also about how quickly you go through that whole process that makes dive so scary to play against when it's played well, because you have just identified where the team is. It feels like they haven't really drawn back the bow and they're already on top of you. So that's a good point you make, and it's something that teams that grind a lot, do a lot of practicing, a lot of pointed practice, get very good at, and you can see that in Rage Quit's play. So I hope we see them lean on that a bit more, but again, I question their big weakness being inflexibility. Now, inflexibility, I fall into a trap myself of being like, flexibility means compositional flexibility. If composition X isn't working, you change to composition Y. And I think that's a weakness of my understanding of the game, whereas I know from the likes of Blur and Terran and the Anomaly squad, it's much more about playstyle changes and minor compositional shifts. A Reaper instead of a soldier, a Tracer instead of a soldier, stuff like that, where you can make these small changes in the details that help your team accomplish something slightly different or plug up a hole that existed before without making wholesale changes to how your composition operates. Go for it.
It's sort of like it patches the problem. It doesn't really solve the root cause of like the composition, why they're getting that advantage on you. So it's sort of like they're trying to put a flex seal onto onto something that's
kind of, but it's also like sometimes you don't need to reinvent the wheel every time, right? So what I'm saying is I make the same criticism every time I watch this team, but I understand where I'm wrong in my understanding of that, if that makes sense. I understand their logic behind it and why they value the approach that they take, which is don't change everything if you don't need to change everything. Find what needs to be changed and change that to make your composition work. And sometimes you're going to get steamrolled by better teams, and sometimes, but when you get good at it, you're going to be unstoppable. And I think that's kind of the approach that this team takes. Once we jump on the things that we're good at, once we perfect them, we're going to be perfect. So, taking a look at map number 3, it is going to be Flashpoint. It is going to be Survasa. Ziv, how much experience do you have with this map?
So this map I've actually played quite a bit.
Okay.
I mean, I played it twice.
More than many?
I absolutely hated both times I played it.
Okay.
Just because my comfort pick is Ryan, and dive Ryan doesn't always work as much as I try to make it work, but it doesn't always work. But as I found out from these flash points, you need a lot of mobility, like to get to that, because the flash points, they are far away from each other. From what I feel like I'm walking across the whole map, and it's just leg day every time I play this. But it's I don't know how I feel about it. It's okay. It's not my favorite game mode, but I don't know. At least it's not 2CP. So.
Yeah, I mean, I was never a fan of 2CP. But Flashpoint is a little bit similar to 5CP from Team Fortress, but it's not, it's kind of like it's just 5 cough more than 5CP.
Yeah, it's a similar thing to...
Oh, sorry, go for it.
No, go for it in the middle of a team fight.
Yeah, Luke's kind of just popping off here on the front line. Pink Salamanders. Luke back in the fray here for, who is it this time? Rinku? No, Rinku's on the other team. Anyway, it doesn't matter. All that matters is the blue squad is popping off here. Tox on his second favorite hero here, the Life Weaver, finding pick after pick. Great work from Pink Salamanders, and this feels like a map type that's going to favor their playstyle.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, Luke getting those 2 opening picks onto Resty and somebody else whom I can't remember. But that was nice to see. But kind of ended Anomaly's team fight a bit early there with those 2 opening picks. But it is what it is. You just regroup, go again, and just try not get picked off like that again, which is a lot easier said than done in most cases.
Yeah.
But Slade getting takedown in the opening pick.
He's going to be the one finding the opening pick here this time. I like to see this change in composition. A lot more brawly here. Rage Quit Anomaly. They've got Terran on the Junker Queen looking to find damage, get the job down, but he's dropping here. It's a very back and forth fight, but at the end of it all, Rage Quit Anomaly with 2 men standing. A nice work from the Lucio. No, Slade has to back out there. Coming in for Vertigo here for map number 3. And it is going to be Rage Quit gaining control of the first Flashpoint.
Yeah, I think Flashpoint maps especially, I think Rage Quit is going to have a lot of advantage here, especially because I feel these maps need a lot of practice. You need to know exactly where the points are, and you know how to rotate to them properly. So hopefully this is where Anomaly is going to really come into their own. And a big tree, that tree is so powerful with the amount of healing output that it does, especially with that Zarya on high charge. Absolutely melted through Anomaly there, especially with that tree there to help put that support.
Something we haven't pointed out, Ziv, here that's a big change is Trigger coming in on the tank role now. Of course, it's been Blur. You would expect Blur to be playing every time on any team he's on, but it makes sense here. Blur kind of excels at those traditional tanks, those tanks with a bit more mobility. But Trigger, he was an off tank when he played for the most part, so he's going to be familiar with your Zaras, your Divas, those sorts of things, and it seems like his role is to soak up damage on the front line here and be a big DPS outputter on the front line as well. If you listen carefully, you can hear a Dragon Blade. There we go. Some eyes now. Carnage goes through as well as Luke popped his blade but didn't find anything with it now. Team under pressure. A lot of damage going both ways. The Dragon Blade immediately gets shut down by the Graviton Surge of Trigger. He's going to use that ultimate defensively. He's dropping low though. He finds Restiosa and he gets pulled out by Toxia on the right hand side, but they're getting forced back here. The Pink Salamanders under pressure as Terran Lord pumps out the damage with the knife and the shotgun, both of which have weird human names.
I feel like Salamanders is going to struggle a bit with the Life Weaver. I know that's a hot take, especially because Tox loves Life Weaver. Tox also loves Life Weaver, but especially it's not a lot of healing with the Life Weaver Lucio at all, especially with Rage Quit's sort of pokey-ish damage with actually I think that's pretty good poke damage there, which can just really trickle the guys down while Toxins are trying to keep them up. And once they're all about 3/4 HP, half HP, they're just gonna go in and just mode everyone down, especially with that Sojourn ult coming up now.
Yeah, the Sojourn ulti kind of blocked by the tree of life a little bit there. He has a nice long sight line in this archway here, but most of it now covered by the tree, but anti-synergistic there. Perhaps his trigger though. He did find Terran Lord on the front line, so now they can push forward. Lavius though finds his opposite number in Trizzle, but pays for it with his life. Tox with the Needler will find that kill onto him. That's going to allow Pink Salamanders just to force their way onto point, get that cap on the flashpoint, and start getting the point ticked up.
Trigger, that was great bubble management from Trigger that whole fight. Got that ult charge up to 80%, and his charge that whole fight was above 70%. So that's also a very, very scary thing to face, especially when you're quite a squishy hero as all of Anomaly are. Especially that the tank Junker Queen doesn't have a lot of HP at 450, so it's pretty squishy. So
yeah, not a lot of HP, but a lot of sustainability. She's going to use that now, move forward here with Rampage and Carnage to get the damage done. Tox, he's first to drop. That's a big problem if you're a Pink Salamanders fan here, because that's a lot of your healing out the window now, with only a Lucio left to play. And you can see how Rage Quit Anomaly are using that to their advantage, just grinding down the pick slowly but surely. They get this cap, 99% overtime ticking down, and second flashpoint goes the way of Rage Quit Anomaly.
Yeah, that was great play from Anomaly. They're really coming into their own here, especially when they know where the flashpoints are. They know how to rotate to them. They know the shortest ways to them. And I had to set up on that point first and just get those different angles onto Salamander, which is quite nice. But Salamander, they do have quite a bit of ults coming up here. They've got two big ones, that Grav and Dragon Blade. So I want to see how they're gonna combo them, or just use one and see how the fight goes. See a potential Grav coming in.
That looks like a big grab opportunity, and they're going to force out the sound barrier. I was going to say, I think Lavius disconnected there. He just started, he was like not focusing on Luke at all, but they pop the grab on the front line somewhere there in that blur in the distance there. You can make out the blue of a Graviton Surge.
Yeah.
They've still got sound barrier on Pink Salamanders. They've popped sound barrier on Restiosan and Rage Quit Anomaly, but they're coming up with ultimates here. So they might have played this team fight very, very well, especially given the HP advantage they've got here, Ziv.
Yeah. For Salamanders, if they're going to bring out the beat as well. I mean, I don't think they would need to, but if they do, it's going to be a pretty expensive fight for them. And normally, like, the points hasn't been unlocked yet, so it's not too much of a problem for them, especially because they've just used the Lucio ult. So for them, economically, was okay, especially because then they'll come into the next fight with probably both DPS ults. But I think we said Lavius is struggling a bit there with his connection.
I don't know if it was Lavius. I don't know if he was not able to respond or if he was just ignoring Luke because he had the sound barrier on him. So he just kind of wanted to pump damage down the corridor here. But it did seem like he stopped moving, right?
Yeah, but I think Anomaly, if Lavius does stay in the game, which I hope he does, because then we'll see both DPS ults coming up for the next fights, which I think will be quite devastating for Salamanders. They do have that beat though. Oh, that COWZA was great.
Ooh, 1 second left on the swing there on the Dragon Strike. They do end up popping that ultimate, as you said they might, but yeah, not great for the Pink Salamanders. That sound barrier from Slade didn't really contribute to them winning the team fight, given they lost it. So Rage Quit Anomaly, they're going to get the first cap here on the third flashpoint.
Yeah, for Salamanders, that was a very, very expensive fight. They went into that with a lot of ult economy there. Now they're a bit ult broke. They've got Tree coming up, which can be quite useful, especially if Trigger can get his charge up there. She does seem to be doing quite well. As I said, it's got 30%. But Rinku does go down early. That's
Zarya making life so hard for Rinku. The deflect obviously not as valuable when the big laser beam just punches right through it. But Lavius has found one with the tac visor. That is one of the ults, the DPS ults coming out now. But they have lost Rinku in the meantime. But he'll be making his way back soon. And he's already popped that ulti, so never mind that. Close to a Carnage, a Rampage here. But there we go. Finally, the picks come through. A late ultimate here. Terran saw something that he made it feel like he could win this team fight. And he might have been right here. They picked off a couple, but this Reaper too hot to handle, I suspect, in the front line. And yeah, they will end up taking down Terran Lord there, and that'll spell the end of this fight for Rage Quit Anomaly. But they've got 93% on the flashpoint. Pink Salamanders got a long way to go.
Yeah, 93%, that's very close. That's one team fight. So Salamanders, they do have to win all the team fights for the next 1 minute and a half, I think it is. So it'll be tough for Salamanders, especially because Rage Quit, they've got that Kitsune Rush, which is very devastating.
Yeah, but it could just be one straight line ultimate into another here. The Dragon Strike could munch them up here. There's the Kitsune Rush. They're going to move forward here, look to find something. Nice ultimate there from Luke. It's going to take down K and just kind of prevent them from executing, moving forward on that. Lavis looking for the pick, won't find it there. Good healing from Tox to keep the Lucio alive. A lot of damage coming through, not finding anything. A bit of tech here from Trigger to help him chase down the soldier. Serpentine movement here, enough to get him out though. Quick on his feet, Lavius, but 70% ticked up onto the flashpoint here. Pink Salamanders might just be able to sneak this one out from under Rage Quit.
Yeah, the front line from Salamanders with that high charge Zarya and that Reaper, it's just, that's pretty rough. Especially with the Lucio speed, he's just not getting away anyway. But that's a big grab.
Huge grab. Does it keep them off? No. Looks like their players on. Overtime will take over. The World Tree comes out, or the Tree of Life. Apologies. Lavis, he's found a long flank here. They're all the way on the other side. The attack fires are doing damage, but not finding any kills. Meanwhile, on the front line, this is the problem here. This Zarya doing so much damage. Luke, he's finding the picks here. He's getting a helping hand from his Life Weaver, but Overtime will take down. Second flashpoint for Pink Salamanders now on Survasa. Lavius out of position though, likely to get taken down, will get taken down. So a late pick for them might allow them to get a nice setup on this fourth flashpoint.
Yeah, fourth flashpoint that we're going into now. I think that's the one that's pretty closed inside. Yeah, let's go. I'm learning these maps. 2 times I've played them. Okay, and then Anomaly.
It always goes in the same order. I did not pick that up until Peach said that right now in our ear. But speaking of in your ear, you're going to get an axe in your ear here if you're not careful. Or a dragon blade perhaps. But ooh, Slane. With fist-to-face combat there, it takes down Rinku Haireru, and Lavius, he finds Trizzle as well. That's going to allow him to push forward, and once again, Rage Quit getting the better of these neutral fights as they set up to grab the first take of the fourth flashpoint.
Yeah, that was a bit, in my opinion, hot take, a bit sloppy from Salamanders there. I mean, normally they did set up well. I'll give them that, especially with that blade coming in there, really just put a stop to Anomaly. But Terran just got
damage going on to Terran Lord there. He's out of position. He's going to go forward now with the Rampage. That's low damage. A nice Trizzle in the back line finds 3. Can you find a 4th? It doesn't matter because the team fight is 100% won. 50% on the clock here for Rage Quit Anomaly, but they're going to have to push their way through a scary Pink Salamanders defensive setup.
Yeah, Salamanders coming up on that grab, and Tree is going to be coming up soon as well. They got a lot of ults coming up actually, Salamanders, now that I'm looking at that. So I think it might be a bit tough for Rage Quit, but Lavis is coming up with his ult, and we got the Kitsune coming out, yeah. That could call to spell some problems for Salamanders.
Kitsune Rush pushing them forward here. They're taking good advantage with a lot of damage going out. Just 2 kills so far, but that should be more than enough to help them win this team fight. Terran dropping low, but he's got the team with him. That was a Death Blossom as well from Lavius, so a lot of ults committed to this, but they need to win it if they're going to stay in the fight here on Survasa. They win the fight, they get the flip. 67, 8, 9. The clock ticks so quick on Flashpoint, but Rage Quit in control for the time being.
Yeah, that was well played by Rage Quit. They took control of that fight very quickly. It was good. The Tree of Life was trying from Pink Salamanders. It was trying its best, but it just didn't cut it with the damage output from Anomaly. It was just.
Ooh. This is bad here. They've gone around the back. There's a backup happening from Luke here. They've lost a couple on the front. Soundbarrier a little bit late to keep Lavius alive, and you really, really want the Reaper in this situation. You can see the kind of work you can do. Look at the damage Trizzle doing to Lord of Terrans. The Junker Queen eviscerated here in the face of the Reaper, as now they can look to clean things up here. They've got the flip, 56%, so Rage Quit can come back in here with the Rampage, with the Dragon Blade, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, Rage Quit, they've got a lot of ults to come in with here, but Pink Salamanders does have that Reaper ult in that very small confined space.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be very difficult. Unless Rage Quit can get the pick on Trizzle really early, I think it's not gonna end well for them. But we'll see. Rage Quit have surprised us before in this game already. That's how they come back a team fight.
Here. Terran has to move on to the point here. He's going to rampage back out. How many picks are they getting? They've gotten 3 already. Rinku with the Dragon Blade as well, finding a pick onto Slade. Trizzle finds the blade of his opposite number there. Have they got the point? Yes, they have. Just checking that they were in control of that when overtime ticked down, and they were. So we go now to a Flashpoint 5, the ace point here on Suravasa. Both teams with plenty to work with soon, ultimate-wise, but it's going to be a neutral fight to start things off.
Yeah, I haven't seen this point just yet, so this is going to be pretty new for me because I usually get rolled 3-0 on this map. So I haven't seen this one just yet, so I'm quite excited to see it for the first time myself, and let's see how both teams are going to play around it. There's some nice high grounds here that are available to be played.
Duplicate, ready to go. She's going to start immediately here on the Reaper. Move forward, Junker Queen now getting mowed down by double Reaper action here. The worst thing to face up against if you're a tank. But weathers that nicely, backs up effectively, and a huge ultimate from Lavius is going to secure this fight. He gets the 4th kill as well. Rinku will drop the other way around, but Lavius picks up the 5k to help Rage Quit get control of the 5th point on Suravasa.
You're well done, Lavius. That was really well played. That was a great placement of the Kitsune Rush as well. It was just really allowed, really allowed Lavius to just get where he needed to get. It sort of reminded me of like remember back in the day of Beyblade with the speed boost.
Yeah,
sort of just got
that's fair. That's fair.
Exactly where it just needed a Kitsune Rush Nano.
No else to work with here for Pink Salamanders for the time being. They're getting steamrolled a little bit here. Lavius, he kind of isolates Trizzle there and takes him down on the front line. Big ulti comes out for both teams though. The Grav Surge countered out by the sound barrier. A 10-player kill streak for Lord of Terrans on the front line, and Rinku to clean up the janitor, the vacuum cleaner. 70% for Rage Quit now on the point. They're in firm control now.
Yeah, that was well played, well handled from Rage Quit, especially with that very hard charge that was in their face for quite a while there. So I'd love to see that the support there as well. They managed their resources properly, used their abilities when they needed to use them. But I want to see now they need to get point. There we go. Okay, they got the touch off.
Indeed, but there's a Dragon Blade coming through here. Isolates Tox, Luke taken down on the front line. Trizzle though with the Death Blossom finds 1, finds 2. Slade picks up the Lord of Terrans as well, but Lavius ready and waiting for the Shadow Form to end, and he takes down Trizzle. He's all by himself now. 96% up towards the ulti. They're not focused on him. If he gets it off, he might just win it for the team. He pops it. He gets 2. He cleans up Pink Salamanders, and he gets the job done for Rage Quit Anomaly on Suravasa.
Oh wow! Alrighty then. That was
job done. Are we gonna see it repeated here? I think so. No, this is the first one on this
Beyblade. Beyblade throwback. Oh, that was.
That's what I've been wanting to see from Rage Quit Anomaly. Show us something different. Now, it's still more of the same in the sense that this is what they practice on this map. This is what they grind out. This is how they've chosen to approach this map, and their execution was excellent in most of their team fights. They started off a little bit behind on that first point, but they brought it back, and once they sort of gained momentum and control, they did an excellent job of pushing their way through that 5th and final point. So really good stuff from Rage Quit Anomaly. But I think what stands out to me there is that or rather, for the first time in the series, no blur on the opposing team, right? No disrespect to Trigger, but it's hard to think that he brings as much from a leadership perspective as Blur does. And that's what you need on those last couple of team fights, where things are kind of back and forth. A good leader making sharp calls might be exactly what you need to push your way through those final team fights.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I don't think that was the main problem. Was in-game leadership, in my opinion. I just feel like it was, as we go back to the beginning of the stream, where we said Rage Quit has practiced this a lot. They know what works. They know where they need to be positioned. They know they've practiced it down to a T, and you can see how they were staying grouped together, how they were rotating, and everything like that. It was great to see. So I don't think it was really an in-game leadership type of problem there. I think it was mainly just the time that RQ has spent training it really paid off on this map specifically. So it was really, really awesome to see that from Rage Quit really coming into their own there. And I believe we're going on to Rialto, right? One of my personal favorite maps. I love this map so much.
First time we're seeing this map in the Elephant Crown here on stream at least. All our matches so far have been 3-0s, capped off with a frantic Flashpoint map, but we finally get to see what some of the other maps look like. And Rialto is, of course, our escort map here. And this should be interesting because I wonder if we'll see Rage Quit go back to that dive that works so well for them, or that they were favoring rather, on the likes of Numbani and Control. So that's kind of their bread and butter. You can understand why you go a different route on Flashpoint. You kind of want to be able to brawl, but take longer, more extended team fights with better sustain. But I think they're probably going to go back here, and I'm interested to see how winning map number 3 affects their playstyle.
Yeah, mentally, especially from my experience playing in the competitive scene, mentally winning that third game it's pretty important. You just got to keep that mental state up. Just keep that courage up, and it's always, you can always do anything. It's all up to your mind. Yeah. So I really hope Rage Quit does manage to pull this out. Hopefully we go to a map 5, which would be awesome to see. Hopefully. What's the last map type? Is it a push?
It's Control. Yeah, no, you're right. It is push.
Yeah, push. Push. I love that game mode. It's awesome. It's such fun.
Well, I'm guessing you don't play a lot of support, because playing support sucks. But on push, it's so hard.
I'm Daddy Ryan, so
yeah, exactly. So on support, you just get your chewed out by tracers and Genjis, and just have your day ruined. So,
but that's sort of the same case as on Rialto. I mean, if you're not careful, you're gonna get absolutely chowed by a dive compare, especially on the attack side. So, I mean, I'd like to see on defense a Orisa come out. I mean, good old Battle Cattle with that lovely javelin spear, which I hate so much. So that's to see. I want to see what Anomaly is going to bring out here on the defensive side. So let's see what they're going to do exactly. Pink Salamanders, I'm expecting a dive from them. Pharmacy. Rough.
Well, the thing is, they still have opted to stick with Trigger, right? So that means you would expect, he started on Orisa in the first map, I think, but he switched very quickly over to the Zarya. So you expect Diva Zarya from Trigger, just based on my knowledge of his hero pool. That's not to say he can't or won't play other things. That's just kind of where, if you wanted to play Ryan, Ball, Winston, anything like that, you'd have Blur in the squad, right? Yeah. But you've got Big Tuna back in here for, who was it? Trizzle, I think it was. Yeah, Trizzle. And then that's the only change we have. So that's an interesting dynamic change. Back on the Tracer, we saw him execute so effectively on Numbani especially. And then we've got Luke on the Sombra. He started on the Sombra on Gardens. It didn't feel like it was getting much done. So that's another interesting dynamic to watch.
Yeah, I feel like here, especially bringing out that Sombra, I think it might actually work quite nicely. Maybe showing a bit of knowledge of Anomaly, because they do play so much together. Yeah. That try to distract that Lavius as much as possible. As I said, there it is. Just get Lavius unfocused away from that pharmacy, so the pharmacy can do the damage that it needs to do. That was great play.
Lord popping off on the front line, though. Trigger has moved on to that Reinhardt, so scratch what I was saying before about his hero pool. Under pressure a little bit, though. Big Tuna putting on pressure. Look at the damage coming through from Trigger. The bubble will keep the Winston healthy, but Lord of Terrans holding it down on the point. Eventually will get taken down, but he bought a lot of space for his team to probably get back in here for another defense. Lavius, as you say, though, really got nothing done in that fight. Went for a big flick onto the Tracer there. That would have been quite something.
No, that was well played by our Salamanders there. Yes, yeah. Let me try that again. Voice cracking like I'm 12. Yeah. Anyway, Luke did Big Tuna did a great job.
Rinku.
Just distract Lavius, but Rinku destroying Tuna that just... unlucky Lavius.
Wow, we caught that on cam. We went 1 second to Lavius and we caught that. Unfortunate for him, he's going to have to pop off in a big way here. So far, the Widowmaker has found no value whatsoever other than pulling some attention here. Hacked up on the front line, Lord of Terrans. He's half HP, but the team is doing a good job of keeping him healthy. And once again, he's man on the front here, holding down the point for his squad. Rinku, he's finding picks though in the meanwhile. Now Terrans contributing as well with his own balls on the front line. His Resty Yosan picks off Trigger in the back line. So good work from Rage Quit Anomaly, weathering the storm very effectively as Lavius gets his first kill of the match so far.
Yeah, I don't think that Widow's not really doing too much at the moment, especially because I feel Salamanders is just going to be on Lavis, because I know Lavis' ability, his mechanical skill is great. So also poses a big issue for their support, especially. So I'm expecting Lavis to be under a lot of pressure from Nick Jr. here and Luke.
Yeah, you can see what their focus is. Trigger immediately tracking down Lavius. There was an EMP in the backline as well. KK down, Lavius down, Restios down, Rinku down, Terran, last man standing once again. He takes down Vertigo, but unfortunately for him, not enough in the tank to win this team fight. And now we see Pink Salamanders looking to get aggressive here. They've already capped the point up, so now they can look to assert themselves on the forward part of this Rialto map.
Levis coming up on his ult there. I don't think it's going to do too much in this case. Honestly, I think Levis should maybe switch off there. But we'll see what he can pull out here. Especially now that he's got his wall hacks on. So
for some godforsaken reason, we don't get to check the damage stats, but I'd love to know how much damage Lavis is doing, because in the moments we've had on him, he's hitting a lot of shots here. Big Junior, though, takes him down, tracks him down. He didn't even commit the pulse bomb there, so that's just a clean kill onto Lavis. I wonder if we don't see Lavis switch it up here. We know he's one of the best widows, if not the best widow in the country, but it's not working out for his team here. Slade finds a pick onto Rinku Haireru, so Rage Code Anomaly losing players here at a rate of knots. Lavis has switched now onto the Reaper as we see the pressure being built here. Lord of Tens taken down in the Diva. Baby Diva is good, but she's not that good, and she will drop.
Yeah, I mean, Anomaly, they're struggling a bit. Yeah. I mean,
Lavius.
Oh,
just kind of stuck out in no man's land.
Yeah,
once again, Big Tune has had his number this game so far.
Yeah, Big Tune's been doing a great job. Just getting those picks, getting that damage in, really allowing Salamanders to just follow up on what they need to do. It's really nice. Love to see. It's got that hack out, getting stunned, getting booped. So they're not having a good time at the moment.
Really nice work from Kay here, keeping Terranort alive, and that might help her and her team keep this game open here. But Trigger, he's in, he's got a double kill, and he's got his ultimate going. The self-destruct goes through, oh no, gets killed before he can remake this. Luke picks up the double towards the end of them there. Rage Code Anomaly getting steamrolled here on Rialto.
Yeah, that EMP from Luke there out at the end, that was a great play there. Just neutralized everything, anything that Anomaly could have tried to pull out, just completely neutralized by that EMP. So that was really well played by Salamanders. They're doing a great job at the moment. So,
nice quick fingers there from Lavius, preventing the hack from going off onto Lord of Terrans. Terran half HP here. He's going to move forward around the corner here. They recognize they need to move forward and stop this cart from moving. They've given up so much space. Still 3 minutes left on the clock, and they get Luke to open things up. Taking down the Sombra is so nice for Rage Code Anomaly here. Your backline is safe, and now you can look forward, and they do that so effectively. Tuna, the last guy alive, and he will get taken down. So Rage Code Anomaly finally, seems like for the first time here, able to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, after that swap up, they've got the extra frontline damage with Lavius, can just be up there with Terran. Just to actually just shred up that front line, which is nice to see. But Luke swapping onto that Echo might be a bit of a problem, especially because Anomaly has nothing really to counter that at all.
And they've got the Rhine here as well. So it's kind of a wholesale compositional switch here. You need to take out that lamp because it's opportunity for so much damage, but they don't do it in time. And the clapback is swift here as Pink Salamanders get a full 5-0 team kill. And that is a disaster here. The bleeding stopped for just a moment before the bleeding started once again.
That was a great read from Salamanders to just change up their composition completely and just really read what they're playing up against, and just to change that jump is a bit unlucky, but a big blade hopefully coming out here. Rinku does get one, does get laid down, does get Vertigo down, Trigger goes down as well, and that wraps up that fight pretty quickly there.
Yeah, very nice for Anomaly, because not only do they secure their team fight, they do it only using one ultimate. So they've got plenty to work with coming to this next fight. They've got what you called the Beyblade before, right? That's what it used to be called. So they've got that going here. But Pink Salamanders, they're not looking too lean on their own set of ultimates, and Lavius is playing very far forward here once again. If he gets picked off, that might be the end of the team fight and the end of the round here. But they're going to start things off with a duplicate and an Angry Monkey on the front line. Restiosan, he's taken down Trigger Happy already, so no Rhine ultimate going to be coming out in this team fight. Lavius, he's got the Death Blossom at the ready. Shouldn't feel the need to use it here, given that the opponents are missing a tank. As I say that though, he pops it. He's 30 HP, 29 rather. He's going to get the mini and look to get Luke picked off here. Won't get that kill, but will force them back. So relatively expensive. Now just 2 ultis popped for Anomaly, and with only a minute left on the clock, this could be an explosive final team fight.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see a nice a Shadow Death Blossom combo. That always works well. Give me throwbacks to the good old days of Overwatch. But we'll see what they're gonna pull out. Shadow, that's a big ult that they can really win this team fight with.
Terran too aggressive there, and the sound barrier just a little bit late. Now they can move forward. The Shadow did come out from Trigger there, found at least K and helped him secure that kill. Rinku, Lone Ranger in the backline there, will get taken down, and now the cart's moving forward. Lavius in the backline here. Petty wishes he had a Death Blossom, but does not for the time being, as now his team desperately works their way on towards the point here. It's the Reinhardt, it's the Lucio, but it's the big tuner that's really the problem here. Lavius, he will go through in the turret with the aimbot here, gonna kill a couple, and a swift cap from Pink Salamanders after being held up for a bit there on the 3rd point.
Yeah, the play with the Tor was pretty good play. Get that 7th, quote unquote 7th player, or 6th player. Sorry, not in Overwatch 1 just anymore. Get that 6th player in quote unquote 6th player with that turret, just distract the enemy team. But even if it doesn't get any kills, although it did pick up 2 kills, that extra 60 DPS, if I'm not mistaken. That's really did a good job. Good swap, lovely play from Salamanders. I wanted to see a bit more of a switch up from Anomaly, but nothing much we can do with that. Yeah. But hopefully, I want to see what they're going to bring out on attack. Hopefully, they can bring out something nice. We're going to see the Pharmacy Bastion with the Diva.
Yeah, the Bastion's pretty hot at the moment, right? He's one of the more meta heroes right now, so it's interesting that we haven't seen it played much at all today. We saw it a little bit on Li Jiang, I want to say, but other than that, it's been kind of ignored. Lavius is going to open up on the Widowmaker. I have to say, I do like the video from Lavius here, but it's one of those heroes you need to be very sharp about switching to a hero with more utility. And I feel like once they capped that first point, he probably should have switched over to the Reaper, 100%. And that would have given them a little bit more scope to halt the momentum of Pink Salamanders. But plenty to work with here. Now it's better on the attack, especially into a Pharmacy.
Got a bit more sidelines, a bit more cover that he can work with. Ooh. Especially while he's hopefully distracting that far out, but while the team can push in nicely. Unfortunately, not hitting everything he needs to hit, though. Oh, that was close. It's tight because your window is quite small on the Widowmaker, and you need to fire quickly and then move, because as you can see, it's literally raining rockets here as far as Lavius is concerned. But he will weather that, and Luke, though, he will move his attention over to the Genji, and he will take Rinku out. So immediately man down here for Rage Quit Anomaly. That's going to allow Big Tuna and the boys to move forward and put the pressure on here. Luke using the high ground very effectively here. Lav is still on this Widowmaker, still looking to find the target, and he's out just there. But unfortunately, it's Rinku, who gets that kill. But the res is forthcoming. But that bought them time to... I lied. Terran died instead. But Lavius, there we go. He finds Luke. Now, this time, no res available here. But they have lost Terran on the front line. So they don't really have much room to push forward here. Unfortunately, Terran is back. And if they do try to push forward here with coming down, the Tuna is down now, so they can push this pretty easily now. They got no real damage coming in, but that fire is going to be coming back very, very shortly. So they need to get that Mercy down, stop that healing.
Oh, they have done that now. That is very key. The self-destruct goes over the top, doesn't find anything. Looked like it could have been big, but unfortunately not able to hit pay dirt there. Trigger Happy will pay with his life thanks to the storm arrows from the Hanzo here, but we see the Pharmacy putting in damage with the Pharaoh just for the moment, putting in damage from the side. They've got the Valk, they've got the artillery configuration as well, so potential for a big combat fight here for the Pink Salamanders. They set up nicely on the high ground here. Trigger holding it down on the point as well as he gets aggressive there. He drops low. Can he get out in time? He gets Luke as well. That's going to force a res with the Dragon Strike through the mix as well. Gonna pick off Trigger. Artillery Strike finds KK, but they've already capped up the point. So Pink Salamanders gonna have to beat a hasty retreat here. Lavius gets the scalp of Big Tuna as well. So Rage Quit finding their feet here on the first point.
Yeah, well done to Rage Quit. I see Lavius is definitely having a bit of a easier time here on attack, especially with those, I want to say, better sight lines. Isn't on attack all the time, like being pressured by the enemy team. So I really feel like he's allowed to have a lot more space here, allowed to do what he does best. Yeah. So that's great to see. Salamanders are coming up with their ultimates here. That Pharaoh ult's a big one.
He had every opportunity to dodge it, and he was just like, nah, I'm just going to wear it. Oh, huge play from the D.Va there. Trigger putting the D-Matrix over the top of the Sprinkler and preventing the Pharaoh from getting KO'd by Lavius. But a very effective team fight there, but Rage not losing out too much there, but it is momentum stop, but they fire back quickly. Tuna goes down. That's going to force a res out probably from Vertigo, but he does pay with his life. Lavius here as Trigger looks to get out. Stand up a little bit though, but Terran is too low really to follow up aggressively, and the res does come out. So Pink Salamanders still with a full complement of players here.
No, that was, I mean, good pullback by Pink Salamanders, good recovery. They really managed to save themselves there, but Rage I'm sure got quite excited there, but Salamanders did a good job. Trigger is coming up on his bomb though, which can be a bit of a problem, but they do have Nano coming up on the side of Anomaly. So we'll see what they're gonna do with it there. Trying to get the boop off on the Ana doesn't really get it close though.
Nano comes out, but it doesn't even allow Terran to get his ulti up. He was 99% on the self-destruct before he got taken down. So really unfortunate. They're throwing an ulti into that as well. Rage Quit Anomaly now gonna have to back up here. And again, we're gonna see the switch there. We go finally. It feels like Widowmaker Hanzo isn't really the hot stuff here on Rialto at the moment.
Yeah, no, especially gonna see. I feel like on Ash, really gonna see the mechanical prowess of.
Oh no! Oh wow, he's too good.
Good. So yes, you expect so little from Lavius to not.
I know, right? I should know better by now.
But
oh, Bastion, he did track down Lavius with that ultimate and took him down. Rinku, though, he finds Tuna. In the meanwhile, Lord of Terrans, he kills Vertigo. Point blank range with a self-destruct behind her. Eventually gets a kill. If he hadn't killed her with a self-destruct, he would have killed her with a remix. So Vertigo was stuck between a rock and a giant mech there. As now Rage Quit Anomaly look to move forward here, get control of the second point. 1:46 on the clock here. So they've got a little bit of time to work with. But Pink Salamanders have got time to mount a defense here.
Yeah, Salamander's gonna need to get a big sprinkler as you pulled it off, but unfortunately that did not go to plan for them.
Oh, Vertigo taken down as well, looking for a cheeky res. That's Valkyrie popped as well, so a lot going down, and immediately you can see the difference Lavius not being on Widowmaker makes. Again, he's probably one of the best Widowmakers in the country, but Widowmaker is feast or famine no matter who you are, and unfortunately not finding value there. Speaking of finding value though, Trigger, Lord of Terrans, squish onto Trigger there with the remake kill, a wave to say goodbye. It has to be said as Rage Quit can control the second point.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes, that's a good time back to have going into this last point here. Lavius is coming up on his bob, which I feel like that's going to be a big problem for Salamander, especially with that Echo now. If Echo gets caught out of position and that bob's there, not going to end well. But otherwise, I mean, it's looking pretty equal on both sides on ultimate wise.
Oh, Lavi, yes. Lavi, yes. The shotgun. The coach he finds Tuna as well. He's an army unto himself here. Is Lavius the main man with the plan here? Bob out as well. So damage being pumped into this Pink Salamander squad. A nice anti-heal over the top allows Lavius to find the pick on Vertigo and Lord of Terrans to clean up Terran. Really nice work from Rage Quit. It's now getting scary for Pink Salamanders with 2 minutes left on the clock.
Lavius is killing 80% of Salamanders. It's in one,
it does feel
one foul sweep. Don't kill 4 of them. So that was that was really awesome from him. That's where you can really see him coming into his own here. Rinku is trying his best, but that big anti though coming in from Slater as well.
Feeling himself a little bit there, playing way too far forward, and he does get punished for it. But Lord of Terrans is healthy in the front line. He found the pick on Luke. He's got the ultimate. He's going to pop it now. Needs to get rid of that shield. Doesn't do so, Lavius. He's licking his lips here as the Reaper on 1 HP in front of him. Can he find the kill? They do. Lord of Terrans comes back to clean up that scary Reaper in the backline. But Trigger, meanwhile, in the backline as well, finds KK with the Monkey ultimate here. Going to jump forward. Finds the other support as well. Yosin goes down, and that should be the end of that team fight. Trigger stepping up for the squad here. Lord of Terrans needs to assert himself here, else he'll be left alive, and he does get taken down. Trigger the man of the hour in that team fight.
Trigger pulled the Lavius there just on Monkey. So they swapped roles there, but that was great play from Salamanders. They really took control of that team fight again. That was great to see. Anomaly, they just need to regroup there. They still got some time. Yeah, they can really take their time to just regroup. strategize what they're going to do here, and then go in for this last team fight that's coming up here. We do get the dupe onto the Diva, which might be a problem with that bomb coming up very quickly with that Echo ult there.
Yeah, and this is the last team fight. Lavius, he could be a big playmaker here in this team fight, as he's been so much in the past. Luke anti-healed up. Does he get the ult off? Yes, he does. He gets the Bunny Blaster kill onto Rinku before getting switched up. He's popping off now in the front line. He finds K as well with the sticky bombs, contributes to the kill onto Resty Yosan, and that will be that here. That might be series, game, set, and match here as Pink Salamanders assert themselves on the third point of Rialto and secure the 3-1 victory in the series.
Well done, Salamanders. That was very well done. Great to see. Rage Quit, they did a great job in handling Pink Salamanders there as well. Oh, and the hack.
The stolen play of the game. That's probably my favorite intro in the whole game. Good. But that is toxic. Why a huge EMP over the top there to help clean up the backline of Rage Quit Anomaly. And unfortunately for Rage Quit, Pink Salamanders just too strong on this Thursday evening.
Yeah, Salamanders, they did a great job there. They really took control when they needed to. But Anomaly, they came really into their own on the comp and understanding specific maps, like the rush map that it is. That was really awesome to see. I just want to see Rage Quit have that level of understanding and knowledge of what they need to do on all the maps. That'll be really, really awesome. But they did a great job on all of them. It was really, really awesome to see. I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and that was really awesome. That was great to see. Great ult usage from both sides, great communication from both sides. You can see they're all playing as a team, which was really, really nice. So they did a great job on both sides. That's about what I have to say.
I think what stands out for me in the series is that Rage Quit Anomaly are a team that are more than the sum of their parts, right? So if you were to like do 1v1 matchups for each of their players, get out of here, Mark. If you were to do 1v1 matchups for each of their players, they probably wouldn't match up that well. But because they grind out so much as a team, they really focus on playing synergistically, on identifying what's strong where objectively, and then working towards executing on that. They kind of end up being more than the sum of their parts. So a strong composition in practice, when on paper it isn't necessarily the strongest to see, but the problem is you can see by where they are in the standings and how they played out the series, they've got some weaknesses that can be exploited, and a big one feels like, again, they struggle a little bit to be flexible, and something that I've noticed with some of the top teams is when they are against the wall, they've got an ability to switch up what they're doing totally. And what stands out to me, thinking back to, I want to say it was the Rhino Cup where there was a reverse sweep. Peach will correct me if I'm wrong. The finals for that, before that even, I can't remember. But the two top teams in the country facing each other, reverse sweep, because one team cycled their way through a couple of comps, came to a comp that beat the opponents, and the opponent wasn't able to be flexible enough to solve that problem. So that's kind of what you need to be able to do. And I always worry with this team that they put themselves in the square hole, and sometimes they need to be a little bit more circular. So unfortunately for Rage Quit Anomaly, not good enough today, and Pink Salamanders just too strong, but it has to be said, Pink Salamanders executed very, very well a lot of different times. It felt like they had that extra gear that sometimes Rage Quit were just lacking today. Yeah,
I feel like Salamanders as well, they've got a lot of players that were also in a lot of very high div teams. Even though it was a long time ago, it was still, they've got that understanding and that game knowledge of that super high level play, especially with like Tox and Vertigo in 2CP there back in the day, and Blur as well. That's just most of 2CP that was that dominating team back a few years ago. They've got that knowledge and also that understanding of high level play and how to keep their mentals in state and how to just adjust themselves based on what the enemy team is playing. So I can see where the differences is in players and their experience in the scene, but I'm excited to see what else Rage Quit can do in the future. Hopefully they take this loss not with, it wasn't a bad loss, which is nice. It wasn't rolled by any stretch of the imagination. It was very, very tight, which was awesome to see. So if they take away what they need to take away from it, improve what they need to improve on, and hopefully they can take them in the next game.
And they're kind of uniquely positioned, right? Because their coach is on the opposing team. He's part of the opposite five, so you can say, "Hey, here's what made it super easy for us to deal with you." You know, in this particular situation, here's where your weaknesses are, and here's how I was able to exploit them. So, or we as Pink Salamanders were able to exploit them. So they scrim each other a lot. These are two teams that knew each other very well coming into this. So I imagine this result isn't too unexpected for them. But as you say, plenty for Rage Quit Anomaly to take out of this. I'm excited. It's a team I really like watching because when they're on, and they look unstoppable. And I hope they can find that more frequently, because as much as I criticize their inflexibility, I really like the approach they have to the game, which is what's objectively the best? Why is it objectively the best? Let's make that work. You know,
100%.
There's a reason the meta is the meta. And a lot of teams, well, I'd like to see more teams be like, what's good about this? Why does it work? Okay, let's figure it out and try and be the objectively the best team that we can be. That's going to be it, guys, here at the Elephant Crown this evening. We're hoping to bring you at least one more game this week. I'm sure we'll get it done, so probably around Sunday if we can, but keep your eyes peeled for that, guys. My name has been Sun Phoenix. He's been Ziv.
Yes,
any final words, and where can we find you on the internet?
So you can find me on my Twitter, as you can see there. Zivania OW, not Zivania for everybody, but it's fine. I'll take the Zivania.
I've always called you Zivania. It's too late in the day to change it.
It is what it is. So we got Zivania there, Overwatch. Catch me on Twitter there. I'm on there every now and then. Sorry, X now. Let me get that right. On X now. But otherwise, I'm pretty under the radar. So I'll make a celebrity experience for you guys every now and then.
Every now and then. Off your head.
Hopefully I'll come on a bit more, because that was actually a lot of fun. Had quite a good time watching that.
I'm glad you had fun.
That was good. Hopefully I'll be back in the future. But I'll have to see how my performance review goes with our big boss Peach. So
we'll have to see. I was going to say something now, I completely forgot. But it's been a pleasure having you on. We do have some other results that have come in as I look to locate my Discord screen. It was Inglourious Blasters taking on Five Nights, so team number 1 and 2 in the league, I want to say, in the Premier Division, on paper, in the standings. Inglourious Blasters, Five Nights took that one 3-0, an expected result, to say the least. An unexpected result, to say the least. I'm not getting fed correct information here. It's definitely me just self-editing here on the fly. So that's an interesting way to think. So we'll be interested to see then Inglourious Blasters. Hopefully we'll catch some of their future matchups, especially against the likes of Pink Salamanders, who are now sitting comfortably in that third place spot.
See, there is a tie at the moment for the top 3 on points.
Awesome. Have they played yet?
So we've got Five Nights at Freddy's. They're currently number 1 place with 5 maps played, 12 points. But Inglourious Blasters and Pink Salamanders all have 5 maps played and that 12 points. So I think that first place there's going to be quite a cool fight to play against, and to see who's going to come out on top there.
Okay, so it's map diff. That's the difference between second and third at the moment.
Okay.
So things are pretty tight at the pointy end of the Prem Division, so that's super exciting. Hopefully we can bring you more of these Prem Division games. Not that we don't love the second division, there's plenty of good action happening there, but that's pretty much wrapped up now with what we saw last week, those island guys coming out on top of second division. But Prem Division, it's heating up here. But that's going to be it, guys, here for this broadcast of the Elephant Crown. Again, my name has been Sun Phoenix. He's been Ziv. You can find me at Sun Phoenix on Twitter, as you see on screen now. Nothing more than that for me. But the most important place to be and account to follow is, of course, at ZA Overwatch on www.x.com. And also then, I'm sure Peach is posting in chat, or Nightbot, or whoever, the Discord link for COWZA. That's the kind of local hub for South African Overwatch, if you're not familiar. If you want to get involved with teams, find people to play with, join tournaments, competitive tournaments or more park-style tournaments, that's the place to do it. So at ZA Overwatch on Twitter and the Discord as well. Once again, guys, thanks so much for joining.
Yeah,
Hopefully we'll
thank you.
be back in just a little bit, and we'll see you then.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a fantastic day.